Welcome everyone to episode 29 of Waves on the Shore. We're in person this time. We have found ourselves, or I found myself in the middle of Indiana, and this hillbilly drinking
hillbilly
carbonated water.
I'm the most, I don't even know, not non-blue collar person that you've probably ever met.
Probably, yeah. They come through a lot clearer in person, the voice cracks do. But anyways, yeah, we're in person for the first, not last time. I mean the last time for a bit, but for the first time we're in person. We're at Jaron'S house. I'm in the famous setup. Granted, you're probably used to seeing.
Yeah, you're used to seeing this wall
over that.
This is a new wall that you guys haven't seen.
I mean, listeners are just like what they all the walls.
There's not much to this wall because there's a closet, whatever the frick that is, with a mirror, and then there's a door. But then the other wall has some of my favorite things on it. I didn't show you that actually, and we're gonna talk about it because even though you guys can't see it, and I would get it, except it is command stripped to my wall, and so it'd be a lot of effort to take it off, and then I'd have to put it back on. But anyway, it is a hand typewritten. There's only 50 of them. John Bowman.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be saying this.
Next Rider on the Sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to think about it for a while, but I'm really proud of that. I think it's really cool.
It is pretty nice.
But yeah,
we're in person, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably, well, you wouldn't know, but I have done a trip down south. I went to, we went to Nashville.
You gotta think about it. Where did you go, Evan?
So, went to Nashville, got there Friday night, did some bowling, saw Wots play. Saturday we were there, walked around downtown, hung out with Grady. Saw Ernest at the Opry, was pretty dope. Sunday, did the Country Music Hall of Fame, more walking around Nashville. Monday, went to a big mall in Nashville, realized that your guys' stuff is overpriced as heck because the tickets were at the same dollar amount as they do back in Canada. So
the tickets
like,
for
holy
what?
Crap. H&M. You mean
like price tags?
Yeah, all the stores I went into.
I've never heard anybody call that a ticket. I learn more about Canadians every time I talk to Evan. I'll tell you what.
It's been,
You guys know that Evan doesn't know how to use the water thing on a soda machine? This man, I wish I was recording. This man just took the cup and after a while, like he didn't know where to get the water at first, but then he like just pushed it up and the water like missed the cup and I was like, bro, you use your finger, then you...
Back me up, Claire. In Canada, when you ask for water, they just give you the cup of water. They don't make you go over to the soda machine, or the pop machine.
Like they just get out of the sink.
They just get out of the sink and give it to you. But
I mean, it's easier for them if they don't have to do that. So if anything, we're doing it the right way.
Fair enough.
If it's more convenient and it makes us more fat,
it's probably American.
I say that right after.
No, you know what? For as much as you've learned about Canada in the last few days, I've learned tenfold of the States. There's been a lot of things. Like, I was saying to Jaron, bachelor and bachelorette party, because we were like, we were walking around and in Nashville, I guess everyone's getting married.
It's still, everyone getting married. You call them stag and...
Yeah, so there's all these, what we call in Canada is a stag and a stagette party. So we were like, holy crap, look at all these stagette parties, right? And we were with Grady walking around, and he's like, a what? And we're like, a stagette. And we're like, oh, like, it's like the Canadian version of a bachelor or a bachelorette.
So, when you, the reason that's so interesting...
when I said that, Jaron was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Now. Well, I'm bridging.
I was like, what the heck? Yeah, when we were in Mancina's, a local sandwich pizza shop here.
Pretty good.
And he says stag and stagette, and I'm like, because what I know stag is just another name for a deer. Like, do you know that? Like,
no, I didn't know that.
Okay, it's just people probably say that in Canada, but I can't really say that because
there's a lot of deer in my area. So
yeah,
I feel like I would have heard it. But.
Like, it's not like a.
Oh, I guess I've heard people say like stag hunting and stuff.
Yeah, like a stag hunt. So like like it's not like super. People mostly call them deer, but like I'm aware of the other term for it. And so when you said that, I was like, why are
kind of deer in that?
Like you just call it like you instead of a bachelor part because a bachelor is like a guy who is not married. But why do you call it a stag?
I don't know. That's just what it is. It's a stag party and a stagette party.
Because like it makes sense to me that you call it a bachelor
It makes
Party.
way more sense. I'm sure there's origins for the word, but I don't know them. I just always know it as a stag.
Well, it obviously has some. You call it a stag for the guys, and a stagette
Stag,
for the girls.
like bachelor, bachelorette.
Yeah, that part makes sense. But like the
Yeah.
actual like meaning, like why?
I don't know.
I don't know. It was interesting to me. But what were you saying about the bachelor
Just-
party, or just that you were learning
Oh,
about
just like that.
Grady-
That's a term.
it? Grady said that you weren't you asked to take a picture for.
Okay,
something?
so yeah, let me explain this. So me and Grady were hanging out at Miranda Lambert's bar.
Oh, and there, of
How
course,
many-
there's a bachelorette party
Oh,
happening.
there was probably 50. Nice bar though, I will say that. Nice bar. But
I've seen pictures of the tacos before.
I didn't get any food there.
Oh, okay.
But we were just there hanging out, listening to the music on the top floor because we found like the higher up you go, the less busy it got. And there was this little like
How many
greenery.
floors are there?
4 or 5. It's a tall bar.
Like, is it kind of like, are there like balconies? Or is it like floors? Like a, cause like, you get what I'm saying? Like, is it all open? Like, can you see like a stage
so
from the
it's like
top floor?
it's like first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor is like a balcony looking down at the third floor.
Oh.
So
So
there's still like a bar
stage
and
on
everything
each.
the fourth floor.
There's a stage
on each one.
Like with different
playing.
bands?
Yeah. It
That's
was
kind of
busy.
cool, actually.
There were a lot of bars there. It was really cool. But anyways, we were there, and like, there was literally, I'm gonna call them stagettes, by the way. There was stagette parties everywhere. And so there was probably multiple at the Miranda Lambert bar. But one of them came up to me and was like, "Oh, can you take a picture for us?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I'm a photographer." So being like,
I'm a photographer.
so being great.
Have you seen that one meme of like the fat kid without a shirt on?
Yeah.
Photography is my passion.
Yes,
He's like laying
yeah.
down. That's what I thought of.
I took the phone, and being a gentleman, I just nudged Grady. I was like, took a selfie with Grady first. So they have that keepsake in their phone. And then, right, I just like took the
Did
picture.
they know who Grady was?
No.
Oh, okay. You're
That's
just
it,
two.
though. There were
To them,
multiple
to them
people-
you're just two normal guys.
Two guys.
Yeah.
But multiple people came up to Grady and were like, ah, no. And I just kind of like had to take a few steps back, like, yeah. But yeah, I took the picture for them. And then I don't think it was my photo job. I think one of them was like unhappy with how their hair was sitting or something because they're women.
Okay.
And they're picky on that stuff.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, can you like retake this? And they handed the phone back to Grady instead. And then Grady takes the picture and they're like, oh, it looks great. You get out of here. Like, go have your party.
Wow.
I know. That's right. So that's Grady's comment on my Instagram post. I'm sure no one understands except me and now whoever's heard this. But it was a cool trip. I mean, it's not over yet. I'm still learning more.
He's on the way
more
back.
about the States. Yeah, I leave
He'll be home
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yeah.
I think we're leaving first thing tomorrow, so I'll be back around like lunch-ish. But it's been a cool trip. I'm probably gonna talk about it more on my channel, like do a little recap of my next video. I was gonna do a vlog, and then shortly after trying to like figure out what I wanted to do for the vlog, I was like, okay, this is not sustainable. I am realistically not gonna vlog my trip to Nashville.
Yeah.
Even
Now that I've thought about it, I think it's better that you didn't vlog it.
100%.
Because especially since it's like kind of your
distracting.
first.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you've been to Nashville before,
Yeah.
maybe on another visit or something, you do like maybe like if you don't have your whole family with you or
Is
whatever.
it bad if that time's out?
It should be fine.
Okay, because it just went dimmer. I don't know.
I'll just touch it every now and then. We don't have to talk about it.
But yeah, that's been my trip to Nashville, and now stopping in Indiana to visit Jaron. We went to Mancino's. We got some gummies. Yeah, it's been
Shout
good,
out to
but-
Albany's Gummies.
which we are
Gummy bears and
actively
gummy worms.
eating during the podcast, by the way.
Would you like one, sir?
I would love one. Sponsor us, by the way.
Yeah. Honestly.
That'd be kind of hype. But,
Albany's Gummy Bears. So good.
yeah, so we're here, and we are now, I mean, that's been the intro to the podcast. We're kind of going to start getting into some actual music stuff, what you guys generally come to expect. So I think the first one we were going to discuss, go over quickly.
Tyler Hubbard.
Yeah, we can go over the Tyler Hubbard EP, so...
I'm going to pull out the track list for that real quick. If you want to give some thoughts a little bit.
Yeah, so Tyler Hubbard obviously kickstarting his solo career a bit after Brian, who really jumped out of the gates last year with his album and whatnot. Tyler Hubbard's catching up now. He's put out an EP, Dancing in the Country. I put a video talking about it up on my channel. You can check that out for some more in-depth thoughts. I didn't think I was going to make a video on it because I thought I was going to go into it and have it just be like some really like dead EP, like nothing worth. But after listening to it, I was like, okay, even if like I don't necessarily love it, it gave me more to think about than I was expecting. It was more like interesting than I thought it was going to be, even if it's not as good, even if it's not particularly like great or good or anything. It was interesting nonetheless. So I made a video. You can check that out. But now we're going to discuss it a little more in depth here. So Jaron, I'll let you kind of take the reins.
I'm just with my relationship with Tyler Hubbard and Florida Georgia Line is interesting because I've never been a person who's like where you've listened to their albums. I haven't because I just don't like them as much. They have songs that I enjoy. Simple is kind of, I don't know if I should call it a guilty pleasure because it's not horrible, but it kind of feels like generic, kind of like you could throw it on in a Marshall's probably, but it's not like quite to that. Like it's not Dan and Shay, but I think you guys kind of understand what I'm saying. But like Dirt, I love Dirt. I think most people, that's pretty much the song that everybody's like, that's a good Florida Georgia Line song. I feel like everybody does that. But so
number 2 on my top 10 Florida Georgia Line songs, which you can check out on my channel now.
Yeah, that's right. Go check it out. If I remember, I'll link it. The YouTube channel. I probably will. But yeah, I've just in general, Brian Kelly interests me a little bit more than Tyler Hubbard because I feel like Brian kind of knows what he wants to do, and Tyler doesn't.
That was a good point. I think for me, it's like the reason I've kind of got behind Brian Kelly more. Not even necessarily because I'm trying to put Tyler Hubbard down and say Tyler Hubbard's like isn't interesting, so that's why I haven't been. But I think like generally where I am living on a beach where beach music's pretty prominent, like you're just gonna hear Kenny Chesney and Jimmy Buffett everywhere.
Yeah.
Naturally, I think all the like boating, all the beach stuff from Brian Kelly just feels very like comfort music to me.
Sure.
I relate to it a lot more than Tyler Hubbard.
I actually
ripping the 35s.
I finally listened to that album. Was it Sunshine State of Mind? Right? That's what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I listened to that finally, like, I don't even think I was at the beach when I listened to it. I think it was, like, after that, when I was on vacation. And it's definitely solid. I didn't, like, love it, but there was, like, Fish All Day.
That's how I felt.
Fish All Day is it's a vibe. And there were some other ones I liked. Like, a couple of them I threw in some playlists because I enjoyed them. But when it comes to, like, beach music, like Songs for the Saints is still my go-to. Like if I have an album,
such a good album.
It's over there on that rack. I love it. Honestly, I wonder if I could get a poster for that. Anyway, but that's besides the point. And like Jack Johnson, obviously I mention him all the time. His music is just kind of built for the vibing on the beach. But I did enjoy Sunshine State of Mind. And when it comes, the interesting thing with Tyler is his voice is unique and it's very southern. It's got a lot of draw to it. I enjoy his voice. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't hate his music, but it just never really does a ton for me. So I wasn't excited to listen to this EP. And I've listened to it at least 3 or 4 times now, probably.
It's not a long distance.
I think you said this in your video, but 5'9" is still the best song on this. Like, out of the 6 songs that are here, 5'9" is probably the best. He released a song called, was it Way Home?
Way Home, yeah.
Why is this not on this EP?
Near 35s.
You're right, it isn't.
He announced
that, I don't think I listened to 35s. I thought Way Home was decent. Evan's knocking over more of my action figures.
He also announced that Tyler Hubbard said an album is coming in January, an 18-song album. So I'm curious if they didn't make the EP,
18
are they going to come back on the album? That was my thought. Like, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Exactly. Even if I thought, like I said, even if I thought the EP was interesting, it wasn't because of its outright quality. It's because it kind of caught me off guard as, this isn't as void of, like, character as I thought it was going to be. Even though the songs still ended up being pretty mediocre for the most part. I just, like, this EP is far from enough to get me excited for an 18-song album. I do not, no disrespect to Tyler, I just don't think he can hold it up for an 18-song album. That seems too ambitious, too much.
Yeah. I just don't think it's gonna. And I talked about this on one, maybe what wasn't my, pretty much both of my past two videos, both of my two videos on my channel. I think I probably talk about album length, specifically the Zach Bryan one, and just releasing a lot of songs in a short amount of time. I'm not opposed to longer albums, but I think some artists are maybe
capable of it. Some are.
Or yeah,
there are some people that I will
more
sit
well
down,
equipped to.
Yeah,
do
there are some YouTubers that I will watch a 2-hour
I
video
will watch
of,
50-minute videos, 2-hour-long videos of certain things. Yeah.
and there's some people that I can't watch more than 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Tyler Hubbard's one of those 6-minute people, right? I'm not gonna sit down for an 18 song. I mean, I am because I'm gonna have to talk about it. I kind of have to.
You're not going to do it for your enjoyment.
Exactly. It's not like 18 Tyler
Watch
Hubbard
this album
songs.
drop, and he's just Jason Isbell all of a sudden.
It's just a classic. It's
If we were vampires.
Classic.
Every single track is If We Were Vampires. I freaking love that song, by the way. I don't know if I've ever talked about that song.
Right. I remember you saying your love for it.
I would marry it, and I would divorce it just so I can marry it again.
It's an interesting topic. 10 songs you would marry. That could be a cool video.
Yeah.
I have a couple in mind.
But yeah, I don't know. I basically told you how I felt about this EP without, saying how I felt about it. It's like, 5'9" is, I do think it is good. For a Tyler Hubbard song, it's just, it's not even that bad. It's just not, it's not anything super
It's
special.
a good song. There.
And the EP doesn't get any better than that. So, it's okay.
It's not bad.
It's not bad either. I'm just not.
Parts of it aren't bad.
I'm not a Tyler Hubbard person.
I'm gonna keep waiting for more Brian Kelly.
I'm not waking up at night. When is FGL when are they gonna get back together? I need this. No, I don't need it. And I'm not. Oh, I almost just said something that was really mean. I'll say it anyway. But I almost said. I almost said if FGL died, I wouldn't care. I shouldn't say that. I would be like, dang, they died. But my point is that I wouldn't miss their music. It would suck, because Brian Kelly and Tyler Hubbard are good guys, I think. I've never met them before, but they seem like quality guys. Now, Tyler Hubbard doesn't even actually know his own wife's height. So, I can't, she's not 5'9". Did you know that?
I was kind of skeptical. I was like,
she's 5 foot. I think he wrote it for her and then played it for her or something, and then she was like, I'm 5'8" or something like that. Something I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, don't take that was a joke. I don't want them to die. Brian Kelly actually seems like a really, 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 really chill guy.
He just isn't a fan of their music.
Yeah.
Jaron'S doing a terrible job of articulating.
Well, maybe they should make better music.
So anyways, I think we can, on that deathly note, move on to another album that I'm not particularly huge on.
I was more interested in this.
Yeah.
Not I was more interested in the I can't talk. Ingrid Andress is almost what I just... That's not her name.
Ingrid
is it?
Andress. What song?
No, that was her name. I thought okay, so I said Ingrid.
Jared's having a special moment today.
I said Ingrid Andress, which is right. I just confused myself and thought that I was supposed to say Ingrid Andress.
No, Ingrid Andress.
No, I had it right.
I agree with you. I was more interested for this album because, I'm sorry, if you're going to drop More Hearts Than Mine, you have my attention. Mm-hmm. It's almost like...
Yeah.
Yeah. If for all my UFC fans, Joaquin Buckley, right? Scored probably the greatest knockout of all time a few years ago. He will always get the promo on his side. People will always want to see what he does because they know he's capable of pulling off a spinning taekwondo back kick while one of his legs is suspended in the air by his opponent, right? That's what More Hearts Than Mine is to me, right? So Ingrid Andress dropped such a good song.
Hear me out.
Hear me out. Ingrid Andress dropped a song so good that no matter how downwards or how not positively I think of her music on the whole, I'm always going to be interested to check it out. And I will say there is one song on this album that is Yearbook is borderline More Hearts Than Mine level. But we'll talk more about the album.
Yeah, so Yearbook was the standout for me. I can't say too much because I like half listened to this album while I was doing things, and I haven't gotten another chance to listen to it. But I'm not going to come back to it. It's not horrible. I think Grady often puts it the best way. She makes solid pop records. Like even they're probably better than good. I think you might not like them very much, but it kind of reminds me of like I've been kind of getting on the Kelsey Ballerini train recently, especially since she got divorced. Shout out to my boy Joe. Just kidding. Divorce sucks. But Joe doesn't. Anyway, but anyway, like Kelsey, I actually haven't heard her. We talked about that a little bit. I haven't heard Kelsey, but I have heard Ballerini, the acoustic one, right?
Yeah.
And the stuff that I've heard from her, the singles that she's released off of her next album, I've actually really enjoyed. It's solid pop country. That's what it is. It's just pop country.
Yeah.
It's not like she said it was gonna be like 90s or whatever.
It's not.
It's not. But I still think it's pretty good.
I think.
I might like it a little bit more.
Yeah, I think as far as this Ingrid Andress album goes,
I might just be more of a simp than you are.
Maybe
that's what it is.
Maybe. I don't know if I would call this a solid pop record. I find, for me
maybe
personally,
I shouldn't have said that because I don't even remember most of the songs.
I'll be honest, right? So my second time, I've heard this.
It sounded good, I thought. Like just from like in the background.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've listened to it twice. The second time I did legitimately fall asleep, but it was also on like a car.
You're in a car ride, yeah.
But I also probably would have fallen asleep anyways because I think the problem with this album is like there's so much reverb on all the instruments and there's so much like white noise in the mix of all these songs. I get like dreamy. I love dreamy pop music, right? I love that sound. But there's a fine line between like some nice dreamy pop and something that just sounds like too foggy, too muddy. And I feel like that's what this album floats on, especially since Ingrid has a really beautiful voice. And then she often harmonizes it with like an electronic computer automated voice. And I don't like it's not, I even struggle at times to say pop country. It's almost like electronic pop country. Like it's too much computers going on. Like when I was listening to this, I was like, you know what? The big trend right now is like Dolly, the like online illustrator that you like type stuff in. The text to image.
Yeah, text to image.
If text to music was a thing, it sounds so computer generated. I feel
Nico
like
Moon's already on top of that, I feel like.
Fair enough. That's another great example. But this one particularly, I feel like it's just like, I described it to Grady as like an AirPod commercial. That's kind of what it sounds like. And I won't take that back.
Apple just going crazy on it.
Exactly.
They do have some kind of annoying commercials. But they were like freaking that. They were doing one commercial to advertise something. I'm totally interrupting.
No, you're good.
They were using the it's the something in like a sushi restaurant or whatever.
Music in a sushi restaurant.
Yeah. They were like playing that on one ad, and I was at my grandparents' house, and it just kept like coming up. The thing is, I actually kind of like that song. Actually, after we talk about this album, I want to talk a little bit about Harry Styles' album because I don't think we ever did. Did we?
No.
Let's just talk about it a little bit. Yeah.
But like I was saying, the one thing I will give this album, even if I think it's pretty flat, like if I pull up the track list, a lot of these songs, especially the one Pain, just is literally.
I didn't get the chance to really like kind of look into this album.
Pain is happier than ever. Yeah, Pain is Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish, but just like not as good. It's just I find like the lyrics just kind of flat. Everything feels so focused on the vibe, but then the vibe isn't very clear. It's just kind of like muddy pop music. I kind of liked Blue, but yes, Yearbook. I absolutely love Yearbook. Like that's one of the. There's always one song every few weeks that just comes and it's like, holy crap! Like this is the better thing I've heard in a while.
I think Grady,
that's kind of what Yearbook is.
On Grady's story, he said something about it kind of giving off similar vibes to Jersey on the Wall. Mm-hmm. And I can see that. To me, they're a little bit different, but like the vibe, like just kind of.
I get the vibe, but it's not like
the exact same kind of.
It's not like a rip off of Jersey on the Wall.
Jersey on the Wall is kind of questioning
faith, whereas this is more like a failing marriage that's trying to be held together. the last time they were on the same page was the Yearbook. And I just think there's a lot of clever lines in that song.
But they both kind of feel like desperate.
Exactly.
Maybe that's the best way to put it.
Yeah. Either way, fantastic song, not a fantastic album. But again, like, not only More Hearts Than Mine, but then you drop this really crummy album. But then you put Yearbook on it. Like, next time Ingrid... The cover's kind of nice. Next time Ingrid comes out with an album...
Grady would like it, I think.
Grady would like it. Next time Ingrid drops an album, I'm still going to have to check it out because she's got Yearbook, More Hearts Than Mine. Like, what else could she put out? But yeah, I think Jaron, out of the blue, kind of wants to discuss...
That's because I reminded myself of...
Harry Styles' album, which came out in May.
I listened to this a couple times back when it came out, and it just didn't stick with me. It still hasn't. I loved his first two albums. This one was just like, it didn't do anything for me. But, like, I'm not saying it's bad. Just for some reason,
that's what I thought. I think it's more hit or miss.
Like, there was something about it, like, yeah, I know As It Was, because every freaking white girl on the planet listens to, put it on their story or just whatever. So
actually, real quick.
I heard...
Sorry to interrupt, but, like, on the topic of As It Was, there is a shoe store kind of near, like a hype shoe store kind of near me, and you go in, and it's got all the expensive shoes, and, like, the guy will always have, like, heavy drill music playing, whatever, like, like, hey, this is an upcoming rapper, you gotta get on him, right, whatever. I absolutely love the guy, though. He's the nicest guy in the world, best shoe salesman ever. He's made me spend so much more money than I want to on shoes. But, the other day, so on their story, they're always, like, posting, like, when they get new shoes in, and sometimes, like, when they post their hours, they're, like, constantly posting when they're gonna be open and stuff. And he always has, like, some new rap video in the background. It's often Drake, because Toronto, that area, sure. Drake. And then the other day, it was just As It Was. I was like, this is just not your brand. But I was just like, I love the image of Kish listening, that's his name, listening to Harry Styles. But anyways, yeah. I thought, yeah, if we're going to talk about Harry Styles for a second, I think his first album was very solid acoustic rock music. I thought his second album is his best, very experimental psychedelic pop with some fusions of old rock. And then his third album was like this contemporary pop rock that just, I agree with you, it didn't really stick.
I vibe really heavy with his first album, like a lot. And you have songs like Kiwi and Only Angel.
Only Angel's fun.
Yeah, and like he gets into rock elements, and you guys know I like rock a lot. So like that, I really like that album, and I really like, crap, what was his second? Fine Line. Fine Line was solid. Still,
I have two rock albums I'm bringing today, so.
Oh, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. And then watch me like know both of them, and be like, yeah, those are buns. yeah, those are mid.
I doubt you know. I bet you know of.
They're kind of, it's an underground band. You wouldn't have heard of them. No, but I don't know. The reason I want to talk about it is because just for me, like, Harry Styles is such a big name at this point. Like, I feel like Ed Sheeran was really big at one time, and now Harry Styles is kind of like taking that place. At least that's just to me, as a person who kind of looks at mainstream music from the outside. It's like, I'm a fan of Ed Sheeran, I would even say, but he has plenty of music that I don't like. He released that one collaboration album. I don't know if there's a good song on there. We both, just so you guys know, when we both are leaning forward, it's just to make sure my laptop doesn't fall asleep. But yeah, it's, I don't know, that it really caught me off guard because I was expecting to kind of, nothing really stuck with me. The only reason, like, you can see music for a sushi restaurant. Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
Yeah, but Music for a Sushi Restaurant was the only one that I downloaded.
Really?
And that's partially because...
Ooh, that's really... Okay.
Well, I think part of it was I was around it for a lot, and this is why. I was at... right before I went on vacation, I was at a church conference. I don't know if you remember that. I was gone for like a week. I was gone for like 2 whole weeks.
Yeah. And
the week before the beach, when I recorded, we did the podcast, my voice almost just cracked again. I need to take a drink of water. I was at a church conference, like youth conference, as a leader, and every time we were like getting ready for a main session, the last song they would play before like the main session started. Like, have you been to like a youth conference before, that kind of thing?
Was it Music for a Sushi Restaurant?
And they played Music for a Sushi Restaurant. That was the song that played before every. And then do you not like that song?
No, I do.
I recognize that it was Harry Styles singing.
Amazed that that's the only one.
But that was they played other music too, but that every time before every session played, that song played, and I got to the point where I was like, Okay, I vibe with this one.
I just think this album was really hit or miss, and even the okay. I think the difference between this album and his last album is the highlights stick out for me, but I find the ones that aren't particularly highlights or aren't the best just don't have as much substance or stick as the other like mid ones. I don't want to say they're mid, but like the mid-tier songs on his other albums, in respect to the album itself,
comparatively are probably
comparatively
not mid.
are better.
They're
now,
just not mid.
Music for exactly. Music for Sushi Restaurant. I like that song. Late Night Talking. I think it's kind of like getting to feel. Like,
I'm like the thing is I've heard all of the songs, but besides As It Was in Music for a Sushi Restaurant, I could not tell you.
Well, then you gotta listen back. Grape Juice I think is kind of cool. Daylight I like, even if it's a little more like indie pop. That like, it's a good song. I think Little Freak is okay.
That was my nickname in high school. Just kidding.
That's crazy.
That was not true.
Matilda is arguably the best one.
Evan goes, "That's crazy."
Matilda's arguably the best one. Cinema is a miss. Daydreaming is a miss. Keep Driving is a miss. Satellite's pretty good. Satellite is pretty good. Boyfriends is really good. Great folk song. Love of My Life is really mid. So I think the album quality trails off as you go.
That one was it was so interesting to me. So many people seem to love it, but I think a lot of it was like there's a girl that I went to at LCU. She dropped out after like a week and a half, but she was like obsessed with Harry Styles. Like that was her identity. One of those. I
know so many girls like
that. One of those girls that like this person, their life is their personality. Like they're like they just talk about him all the time. They post about him all the time. Alexis, if you somehow are watching this, I'm sorry for calling you out.
Why did you name drop?
My Alexa just went off. It's fine. She's not gonna be watching this.
Anyways. Well,
that's funny. Sometimes I forget I have it. Alexa, stop.
With all of that strange stuff out of the way,
Let's,
and a bit of a detour to Harry Styles, could we talk about one other EP that you already have? And Eric Church.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need to talk about this much because you...
Keep talking.
We don't need to talk about it a whole lot because you have had it for a long time because Jaron'S lucky he has, and...
Just gotta
flex. He's getting...
Just gotta flex real quick.
The vinyl out. But Anne was released to public on streaming services a few weeks ago. I have a video. I kind of like that video on Anne. I thought it came together quite nicely. My thoughts are up there, but...
Pretty mid, not gonna lie.
It's out there. I just like, now that I've heard
You should quit YouTube.
Now, shut up. Now that I've heard it, I remember there were a few times where you were like talking about, this is good about this, but it didn't mean anything to me.
Even in one of my videos, I talk about how short it is and just how like, if Eric had, you take the 6 songs that are already on and then pull a couple from Heart and maybe a couple from Soul, and I think you have a really good album. I think.
But now that I have context and I've heard it, what are like your thoughts, highlights, favorites from that album? And now that everyone can understand what you're saying, you're kind of speaking the language now.
I'm actually gonna so I can look at the tracks because I'm really bad at remembering things, even if I actually really like them. I love all these songs so much.
This guy had to grab it just to say,
yeah,
all of them.
All of them are good. No, but like Lone Wolf is so good that like Zach, who I write with might as well be his last name because that's what I always say. But that's just to give context for who I'm talking about. Anyway, he really likes Lone Wolf, but he didn't have the vinyl. I did. So what I did was there were the 4 unreleased ones because Through My Ray-Bans and Doing Life With Me had been released on digitally. The other 4 hadn't, and so I recorded them all, the audio files on my phone, and I think I shared them in the overcord on Discord actually, and I sent them to Zach, and he liked it so much that he had this kind of like low quality phone audio recording from my record player, and he had set Lone Wolf, that horrible audio recording of Lone Wolf as his like ringtone / like alarm clock.
I like Lone Wolf, but I'm not that obsessed.
Like I'm John Gormley in the he loves Lone Wolf. I mean I really like it too. It's not my favorite off of this one, I don't think, but it's still like
I think how
really, really
how a lot of
good.
people feel about Lone Wolf is how I feel about Mad Men.
I also really
think
like
that
Mad Men.
song is everything.
But I don't even know if those
and
two
Kiss
are
Her
my
Goodbye.
There's something about Doing Life with Me
Thank you.
that I you said thank you like you wrote it.
No,
Sorry.
I mean thank you. As people are always like, really, you like
Sure.
that one? I'm like,
No,
yeah. What's the
I
hate
think-
about it?
No, I think Doing Life with Me is peak. But also, I have actually genuinely cried a lot. If I really get my feels and think about through my Ray-Bans,
Yeah, that's
I have
fair.
actually like kind of teared up before listening to that. But there's all the Do Side is so groovy.
It's just a 6 for 6.
You get
really.
yeah, and then Kiss Her Goodbye. That one actually. I think I like Kiss Her Goodbye more than Mad Men and Lone Wolf. I like both of those, but like something about
Those are my Mad Men and Kiss Her Goodbye are my favorites.
yeah, Kiss Her Goodbye might be. I freaking love it. But no, like how this in terms of stacking up to his other albums, like this, like
This holds its own against pretty much any Eric Church album. I'm sorry.
like
Even
I know it's only 6 tracks, and I would probably say like if I had to choose one, I'd probably do Mr. Misunderstood.
That's the only one that rivals it, really, for me.
I think.
I think And is genuinely Eric's second best project.
Yeah. But I also, what else do I mean, I'm also a person that loves Desperate Man, and I like Heart, but I was one of the people that really like Soul a lot.
Yeah.
Soul.
I mean, I was quite big on Heart, too.
Out of both of them, I mean, I come back to Heart. Don't get me wrong, but I come back to Soul more often. There's something about that groovy. Eric, I don't know. He's just. I know, like. Bad Mother Trucker. I know that you. I know that you don't really like it.
Not my thing.
But freaking, I roll the windows down and I'm freaking grooving to Bad Mother Trucker. When that thing came, when I got those CDs in the mail before they even came out on digitally, I would freaking when I listened to Soul for the first time, bro. You best believe I was like going like 70 miles per hour down some back roads just over here and just listening to Bad Mother Trucker and then. Crap, there's another one. I can't remember.
That's another thing, right? It's like speed limits in the States. It's so funny. Like, I was going 70.
Well, there's not a cop out there just like. Wait.
No, I know, but it's just funny
I'm
like
not gonna speed 70 miles per hour in like in downtown.
no,
like
it's just funny that sound like I was going 70. Cause like, bro, 70 kilometers an hour. Like, yeah, you're moving. That's more than the city limit, but like not by much. It's like.
Oh, that's true. It scales.
But that said, if I say like I was going 125, you think I'm an absolute maniac. But oh, Jaron'S looking through his CD collection.
Well, no, I want
again.
to look at the track, but it's easier than pulling it up on my phone.
Fair enough.
Look Good and You Know It. That's the one.
Oh, Look Good and You
Friggin'
Know It is incredible.
Look Good and You Know It and Break It Kind of Guy and Bad Mother Trucker. All three of those are like the ones that like I just vibe super hard with. But the whole album, so solid.
The whole collection is really solid. Actually, that was a fantastic
I
season
think,
for Eric.
I think people were like, I don't know. I am of the belief that people were a little too hard on that. Like some people were.
I agree.
Some people complained a lot about. I didn't think his. I didn't think his. Huh?
I gave Soul like a 6, but it's still pretty decent. That's,
Yeah, it's not a 6. We can disagree. I don't know if would you change that? Is it still a 6?
I'd still give it a 6. I think Heart's like a 8, and then I'm giving And
2.
like,
I guess
I'm giving And like
you really
it's
don't
literally
like
a
Bad
9,
Mother
9.5.
No, they're not like.
They're all good albums. I would, as a collection, I think
Yeah.
it's very good.
People were like talking about his like writing, and I didn't think it got worse. I think we just saw more of the. I think we saw more of the Eric songs that he writes that we might not usually see.
Yeah.
And because people weren't used to that, I don't think that's necessary. Maybe it is worse. I don't know, but it was different, but I'm okay with that.
Nice.
The seltzer that I'm drinking is making. I gotta stop.
Tap water. Yeah, then I think with that out of the way, we can move on to another segment
We'll do
of the
whatever we're listening
podcast
to.
that you guys know. So, Jaron, now I'm here to ask you in person. What are you listening to?
I'm listening to a really good EP by Drake Milligan. Have you heard of Drake Milligan?
I think I've heard this EP, actually. Does he have more than one out? Am I completely stupid?
That's probably his own. Yeah, he has other singles, I think.
But is it his, like, self-titled EP?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard this, actually.
So, I very much like this EP.
I thought it was pretty
So I heard it for the first time a while ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's one I haven't heard in a minute.
Like a long time ago. Like at least 6 months, I think. And And something I think I'd put Don't Look Down, the second track. I'd put it in a playlist, and it came up one day, like fairly recently, like a month, like 4 weeks ago maybe. And I was like, I actually really like that song. And so then I was like, I'm just gonna listen to that EP some more. And like, I actually really, really, really like all this song. And when I follow him on Instagram, and he I think he's on America's Got Talent right now. And he did a live version of his song Kiss Goodbye All Night. And bro, I wasn't even like, I was watching it in my bed on Instagram, and I was like, that's a really freaking good live version of Kiss Goodbye All Night. And I was like, I don't remember that song being that good when I listened to it. And I go back and listen to it, and I'm like, this song's a freaking banger. And so I'm listening to the whole EP, and I'm like, all of these songs are bangers.
It's all good.
It's all good. It's amazing. It's spectacular. No, it's like actually really, really good. I don't think, like, I feel like a lot of people don't really, well, I think recently people are getting more turned on to him just because of America's Got Talent.
All
But
the exposure from that.
But I do think a lot of people have yet to check him out, at least in terms of, like, I don't watch America's Got Talent. The only reason I know he's on there is because I follow him, and he posted that he was on there. But all I have to say is that Kiss Goodbye All Night, and these songs are really well written, I think, too. Like, not just, and they sound like actual, like, he's so young, and what's surprising is that it's like honky tonk music, like songs you'd hear in like a bar, like. Mm-hmm. Like, it feels like but it like doesn't feel, it's not boring. It's like, it's got energy, and it kind of reminds me sometimes a little bit of like John Party. Like when I saw him, I didn't talk about that. I saw him live a week and a half ago, and that was like, I've seen a decent amount of live shows. I've seen Need to Breathe. I've seen Brad Paisley. I've seen Jimmy Allen. I've seen Josh Turner. I've seen a decent amount of people at this point. Who's who. And John Party and Lainey Wilson. And I also saw Hailey Whitters. Hailey was good, but her, like, I think people just don't really know about her yet, and so, like, the presence, the energy wasn't is there. But it's an opener. There's usually the openers there's not usually people are just like doing whatever. They're not paying attention. Half the people haven't even showed up yet. Lainey Wilson, who played in between, her presence, like, when she got on stage, she opened with L.A., I think. And bro, it was...
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that one, I actually really like L.A. And when she opened with that, I was like, sheesh. And it was really cool to see Lainey Wilson live, especially she played Watermelon.
Why my song, Moonshine.
Watermelon Moonshine. I'm only like 21, and I have freaking, what is it, Alzheimer's? Is that what makes you forget things?
Dementia. Autism, no.
What, bruh? You have to diagnose me with autism. No, but like, she also did Heart Like a Truck. And so she did a lot of her new ones. She even talked a little bit about how she's going to be on Yellowstone, which is kind of cool.
Her album is something I'm
really excited about it. I'm a fan. I'm not trying to be like, I was on the Lainey Wilson train before anybody else was, but I first heard her more than 2 years ago. Like, I discovered her when she released Rolling Stone as a single, and she had, like, almost no streams on it. Like less than 10,000 streams on it. And I was like, I've been there. And I was like, this is a really good song. And when her album came out, I was like, this is a good album. And then, yeah, so I'm, like, down for that. And then friggin' John Party. The thing I love about John Party the most is that he feels, this is just me talking about the concert now. Yeah. He's, like, so relatable. He's, like, halfway through the show, he was like, all right, guys, I'm not very sweaty yet. I'm about to get real sweaty. It's like, I don't know, like,
Jaron likes some sweaty men.
That was just funny, but like, my point is that he talked to some old grandma. He gave her the mic and like let her talk a little bit, and like he like kind of interacted more, and like he was just kind of hanging out. He would just like talk.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like he didn't.
That's the entertainment value going to a show is when you actually like say something. It's like, I can listen to the CD, but like give me some entertainment.
Also, I meant to post it, and I might still do it. It'll be like more than a week late. But some guy joking, the Freebird thing. Play Freebird. Yeah? Some guy on his phone. He put up his phone and goes, like, it just says Freebird. John Party looks at it, and he goes, we're going to play Freebird. They played Freebird. They did the full 8-minute. I have it on my phone.
Amazing.
They actually, and the thing is, it wasn't bad. Like, they actually, like, played Freebird. You've heard Freebird, right? Okay.
That's
And apparently, one of his guitarists is from Leonard Skinner. So they knew how to play Freebird.
That's
And,
awesome.
like, John's singing the lyrics and everything. It was actually, like, at first...
We all play Freebird.
Yeah, he's like, there's a young man with a... He's got his phone up. He wants us to play Freebird. We're going to play Freebird. I'm like, okay, this is definitely... I would be surprised if that's the first time that's happened. But I thought it was... at first I thought he was joking. And then they actually started doing it. And I was like... So I held up my hand... Because I'm shorter than the tall guy in front of me. I held up my hand for like 20... No, not 20 minutes. 8 whole minutes. My arm is like freaking dead.
Concert filmer.
Yeah.
But
You didn't see me. I wasn't like spamming my story.
No, those are the worst people. Oh my gosh, there's one girl who will go unnamed. Like,
I named my enemies.
I'm convinced she just legitimately films the entire 2-hour set and then just uploads the 2-hour video to Instagram. Like, we're talking, like, you got the bars on the top of the story. We're talking, like, half a pixel.
Millions.
We're talking atoms. Like, I'm clicking through every atom of this phone. Like, oh my gosh! If I wanted to hear some mid-pop country concert in Eastern Canada, I'd go there. But I don't. So don't show it to me.
Mid.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good concert. And it was only $40.
That is a steal.
$40 to see Haley Wood. I mean, we didn't we were in the green, but that's kind of how I prefer it. I'm not a mosh pitter. I'll sit in the back and just kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
A girl asked
you $45.
Yeah, in a couple weeks.
If anyone's going to the Brett Eldridge Saginaw show, let me know. I might be there.
Evan didn't give me tickets, so.
Well, do you want to go to Saginaw? There's probably still tickets.
I can't.
But that's like...
I would, but I have to get a passport.
No, it's in Saginaw. Are you stupid?
Where's Saginaw?
In Michigan.
Saginaw. I could actually come.
You could legitimately come.
When is it?
Do you not know where Saginaw is?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Hey, me and you being the listener, we're about to learn where Saginaw is.
What's in the States?
Where in Michigan, though?
Well, I don't know.
All right, never mind.
I don't know the geography.
Did you say it's like an hour away from where you live? I won't say where you live. But.
It's like... I think it's a little more than an hour. I don't know. If you're going to be at the Saginaw Brett Eldridge show, let me know. But...
Okay. I might be able to go, but we'll see.
It'd be like 4
Is it like
hours
on like a Friday?
It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Okay. Yeah. Well, listen to Drake Milligan after all that.
Yeah, exactly. Now that we're not talking about...
And now Evan can talk about his music.
So I was thinking of bringing... So there's one album I'm going to bring mostly. And I feel like it's not from a necessarily small artist, but then I have another album I'm going to bring. So, a lot of people know him, but Colby Cooper dropped an album. Boy from Anderson County to the Moon.
I feel like I would probably like Colby Cooper. But it's like Coetzel. I feel like I would like Coetzel. Both guys that I've just never...
I respect Coetzel and everything he does. I've never fully gotten into him, though. And so... But with Colby Cooper, I'd heard like 2 words, like classic. But... I hadn't dug that deep into him, but I get a lot of DMs from people about him. So anyways, he dropped this album. And I was
some people love Colby Cooper.
Love him. Well, I feel like he's just that new...
The only thing I remember is that Anderson is in the name of this album.
Yes.
Anderson County.
I think the reason a lot of people love Colby Cooper is because he's like the new long-haired mustache outlaw making rock and roll music out of Texas. I think a lot of people like him.
We should petition for Zach Bryan to grow his hair out.
I like this.
Man bun.
Brian.
Yeah, Man bun.
Man bun Brian.
Get the stash going. Get that Mark Weisstrass. But I'm thinking like a Mark Weisstrass stash. Okay. Like Diet Brown.
Yeah.
Let's
just completely change Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
Colby Cooper dropped this album. I think it's really good. I'm probably going to hopefully talk about it on the channel if I get the chance to. It's like a country rock album, but I think there's a lot of energy to it. I think there's a lot of good writing on it. I think the opener, Are We On Fire, which I think is the single, I think it's really powerful, really good. I almost dropped my phone. Really, like... I love most of these songs. Like, I mean, the first 6 songs, Are We On Fire, Excuses, Breaking News, Storms Coming, Woke Up Hungover, Stars Fall Down. I love, like, that is a good stretch of 6 songs. I would check that out.
Like, is it better than Where the Country Girl's At?
It might be, actually. I'd have to think about that more, but it might be better than Where the Country Girl's At. Other than that, Just Adore is really good.
Mr. Worldwide.
And then it ends, it's kind of cool, the last two songs are Boy from Anderson County, and then the last song is To the Moon.
You know, I want to get this is totally off topic. This is me just saying what I'm thinking. I think it would be hilarious if I got like a 5 foot tall cardboard cutout of Pitbull. And had him in the back of my videos.
That is the most... that is way more random than I was expecting. But you should absolutely do that.
I think that'd be funny.
I think I might have to get a cardboard cutout too. Who would I get?
Justin Trudeau.
The problem is they probably put something in so he's actually watching this.
There's a camera in his eyeball.
Justin Trudeau cardboard cutout. Comes with an extra vaccination and a camera in his
He's
eyes.
Got a needle in his hand. He just has a syringe in his hand.
Every time you come through the door, this cardboard cutout just stabs you. Anyways.
Action arm.
Colby Cooper. Colby Cooper album, really good. Evan does enjoy. And then there's another album that I completely, I thought about bringing, but then obviously this got pushed back, so I kind of forgot about it. But now... I'm going to grab it real quick. Where is it? Did I just go past it? Yes. So I found this on TikTok. I don't know. Crooked Kings, right, is the name of the band. Okay. The album's called Come Down. It's 9 songs released last year. Complete fluke I found this, right? Similar I brought Jamie by Montel Fish last episode or a few episodes
listened to
ago.
that. I listened to that while I was mowing. It was... I enjoyed it. I was kind of I was half listening. I was mowing, so I was I was half listening, but I was also I was kind of zoning out sometimes and kind of thinking about it. But sometimes when I was listening, I was I enjoyed it. I need to listen to it.
It's a different album. But anyways, similar to how I found that, right? This Crooked Kings album came up in my TikTok For You page, and they're literally just it's the TikTok you've seen a million times. Yo, we're a small man, go check us out, blah, 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 blah. But instead of some annoying voice doing it, right? They had one of their songs in the background. The song was 96 Subaru. And so I was you know what? I actually kind of like the sound of this. So I checked out the album. It's listed as rock.
It's kind of alt rock?
Yeah, it's very much alt rock.
I found a lot of alt rock bands on Instagram through promoted posts. There's one called, I think it's Let's Stay Friends. And it's really good, but you can keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
It's just so I checked it out. I downloaded their album. I listened to it when I walked the dog, and I was dang, I gotta send song. I forgot that.
So we are now. We got sidetracked because I pulled up the What Are We Listening To? Waves on the Shore playlist for. We add music that we are listening to. At this point, it's most. I meant to text you. Actually,
I need a Spotify account to just do it myself.
Yeah, well, one thing we could do is make a Spotify account just for the podcast.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, we should also do that with an Instagram account.
We do need to do that. We've been talking about that. Yeah. So, Crooked Kings album's called Come Down from last year. Album is very good. 96 Subaru has the star. Apple doesn't show you the streams, but there's a star beside it, which means it's the most streamed one, and I also think it's arguably the best. I think Boxed Wine, the opener, is also really good, and then really just 6 to 9, 96 Subaru, Bird Scooter, Eggshells, 4am.
Nice. 6 to 9.
6 to 9, exactly. We actually took Interstate 69 to get here.
Yeah, you drive on 69 all the time. It's lit around here.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really cool album that I wanted to bring because I was you know what? I feel like this is Jaron'S wheelhouse.
Actually, what was the name again?
I feel Jaron would really like this. Oh, jeepers, where'd it go? The Come Down by Crooked Kings.
The Comeback by Zach Brown Band.
There it is. Sunset.
I'll just go ahead and download it. The song that I was talking about, I'd found it in that playlist and then I had to... but it's by Cardinal Bloom is the band. Let me just look up the band. And you bringing that album reminded me that they have a song called "She's Just a Friend." That's what it's called, and it's kind of a vibe. It kind of reminds me of it's similar to maybe the band Camino.
Yeah,
that kind of vibe. It's not quite as electronic,
which I like.
Yeah,
I do like my more instrumental stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not yet
on the countryside of TikTok because I frankly don't know how to get there. Right, I don't know how
Sometimes
TikTok
I
For You
don't think
page
I
works.
I don't think
Like-
I want to get there sometimes.
Fair enough. Like, I just don't know how my For You
Warren
page is
Zider
all-
rules with an iron.
Exactly. It's always changing. Right now, all my For You page is just like screenshots of Reddit and stuff like that. And I was like, I can't get rid of it. A few weeks ago it was the Andrew Tate flood. And it's like, all I see is Top G.
The great Andrew
And I'm just
Tate
like,
flood.
I'm like, what's that? And
Oh my gosh.
it
Andrew
seems
Tate.
like it just goes in stages of like things that I don't know how to work my For You. I don't know how to get on the countryside of TikTok. I don't know. But anyways, I have kind of landed on like the indie pop rock side of TikTok. I keep getting these artists and songs and albums thrown in my For You page that I actually wind up downloading, like another one. This album, Visions by Foxtide, I think it's far from perfect. I think they have a long way to go in terms of production. It's clearly just some friends making music, but they do. No, but like, just like some mixing stuff. It's like, hey, you need to tidy this up, but the music's pretty good. Last song, She's Not Yours, 7th song on the app, She's Not Yours by Foxtide. Check it out. It's actually really catchy. Now, sorry.
Well, earlier today, like shortly after I woke up, I'm laying in bed. It's still like, I'm still like in the process of waking up. I'm scrolling, doing the good old mindless scroll through Instagram, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd found a band called, what was it? I remember what it's called. It was called like, I Am Holiday, but it was like spelled with A's. And sonically it sounded really interesting, but then the lead singer like sang, and it just like sounded like I was like, is this guy actually singing? Like it wasn't like, it's not like his voice was cracking or like it was just like, it sounded like he was just kind of like, he was talking, but like he thought he was trying to sing. It's hard to like
thought he was
like
trying
I
to
thought
sing.
I was like I was really torn because I'm like, I feel like this could be good maybe, but like either you're not trying hard enough, like you're
legitimately
or
just
you
bad.
just can't sing. And I feel bad saying that, but it's like the truth. Like maybe the other dude who's playing banjo next to you should
Give it a try.
yeah. No, Snapchat just opened. Oh my gosh, my freaking friends are. Here it is. I Am Holiday. I know you guys can't see, but like, I'll show it to you when we're done with this. But I just thought I'd mention it. If you guys don't like go make fun of them or anything like that, it's not like the worst thing I've ever heard. It was just intriguing to me because I was like, this sounds like it could maybe be good because there's a lot of banjo. It was very acoustic, so. But where'd we who the frick?
I was gonna say, I think we can finally move on.
Yeah, we can move on. I was trying to think of.
I've got I've got a face full of gummy worms at the moment. I think we can finally move on to the last segment of today's episode, Who the Frick, where Jaron has researched 3 artists and pulled some facts from their Wikipedia page, and he is now going to quiz me, and I am going to guess what each artist is. There's 3 clues for each artist. Play along wherever you're listening. It is a fun time. Different because we're in person.
Grab some gummy worms, some gummy bears, sit back,
Relax, and let's play Who the Frick.
yeah. Okay. This should be
time?
interesting. Sure, you can. I'll lead time yourself, since I can never. do
1
it.
minute.
Okay. I'm genuinely curious to see if or how fast you'll get this one. I feel like you'll probably get it. First clue. Their sound has been described as, quote, country pop so smooth it would also sound at home on adult contemporary radio. End quote.
Right away, I think damage.
I just thought that quote was hilarious. Like, in the Wikipedia article, they say it like they're proud of it. And, like, it's kind of an insult. Like,
So smooth that it belongs where people don't care.
it's another synonym for "soom" is so brain dead. Like, so uninspired.
So null.
Yeah. But I'll say the other. I probably should have said that clue last. I just thought it was hilarious. In 2017, they were featured with Earth, Wind, and Fire on CMT Crossroads. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I did not.
Maybe I should have led with that one. But I don't really care. And then the last one was, they have been quoted saying this: we write country songs. The top line, the lyrics of these songs. We grew up listening to all kinds of music, not just country, but pop, rock, R&B, hip hop, everything. And you hear that in the music.
That sounds like
nothing wrong there. You know, I would agree I hear that. Yeah, you got.
You hear that?
I think that might have been the quickest. Yes, Dan Shay.
But like the funny thing is not even like
I kind of handed it to you though.
But
you would have
the funny
gotten
thing
it
is
on
it's
that
not it's not like a fact that I knew and was like, oh, Dan Shay. It was just like the very first one that comes to mind from
Think
that
of generic Marshalls.
Dan Shay.
Yeah.
All right, 1 for 1.
Artist number 2. This artist has released 5 albums, and they're signed to Big Machine.
5 albums signed to Big Machine. Oh. Okay. Who is signed to Big Machine that has 5 albums? No, even with Hicks tapes, Hardy's not even close. That was stupid of me. That's Big Loud. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Hold on, let's not mix up my bigs. Big Machine.
There's so many
That
labels that
is
can't do kind of stuff.
Midland's label, I believe. Are they Big Loud too? No, they're Big Machine. Good grief. Come up with more creative label names.
Big. I'm gonna make a label called Big Cow.
Oh.
Big P. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I like it.
Pause my timer, by the way. I saw a billboard on the way here. Because you guys, Americans, have billboards everywhere.
Oh, shoot. Oh, was it the Drive Naked billboard?
No.
Never
It was
mind,
one of
that's
a place
awkward.
called Uranus.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And apparently it's like a fudge
Well,
place
well,
or something.
Well,
The
we'll just go ahead
billboard said the best fudge comes from Uranus.
Yeah, they're doing that on purpose, Evan.
Or like having fun in Uranus. Huh? There's a dinosaur chilling. Americans are weird, man.
Okay. So that's a new place that there was a small local chain of ice cream stores owned by this family called Good's Ice Cream Shop. And the one that was here in Anderson shut down because of some, like, I think the owner did something like controversial, and so he just shut the place down. And some company like out towards like west of us, so like out towards like Iowa and stuff like that, some other company that owns these candy stores called Uranus comes in and slaps Uranus right down in Anderson. And you can get all the fudge you want out of Uranus now that you want. I've never been there. Yeah, I also hate those billboards. And Good's Ice Cream Shop was cool. They would like make homemade chocolate and like other stuff like that. It was actually really cool. It's a shame it's not here.
Regardless, resuming my time, I really do not know. I don't know if Thomas Rhett has 5 albums. I don't think he's on Big Machine, but for the sake of having no time left, I'm going to say Thomas Rhett.
It is not Thomas Rhett.
He has 6 albums, though.
Okay. The second clue. Rolling Stone said that they make, and quote, music that recalls a mix of George Strait, urban cowboy, and 70s yacht rock, end quote.
Yacht rock. That sounds like a hint. But I don't know who Old Dominion is signed to, and I think they have more than, or I don't think they have 5 albums. They have Happy Endings. One that I can't remember. They're self-titled. That's 4. Yacht rock. And he said they, so a group.
Just okay. I usually for this I say they, whether like I mean it could be.
Okay.
Yacht rock. I say they to not get the genders confused. They're a they them.
Could you repeat? Could you repeat it? Real quick?
Rolling Stone said that they make music that recalls a mix of George Strait, urban cowboy, and 70s yacht rock.
Thinking beachy. Oh my gosh. I'm struggling, and I know it's not Old Dominion because they have 4 albums, but for the sake of I was on a boat that day, I'm going to say Old Dominion.
It's not Old Dominion.
I'm struggling with this one.
I think you might get it on this last one.
I need to know my labels better.
Yeah. Final clue for the second artist. They founded their own line of alcohol.
Okay. So...
John Party has his own line of alcohol.
He does.
I didn't know that until I went to the concert. Very expensive whiskey.
No. Midland's Big Machine, but they don't have 5 albums. What?
Nothing.
Why do you laugh? But they have
I'm just
their,
enjoying your...
They have their Insolito.
They do. They do have Insolito.
And I think they're on Big Machine. And the whole 70s George Strait yacht rock. Is there a Midland project I'm forgetting about? Like, On the Rocks, Let It Roll, then Sonic Ranch, and their new one, Greetings From. Is there one I'm missing? But like an old EP? Their self-titled EP? That's not an album.
I need to guess.
What?
Bro, Evan is going to town on these gummy worms.
I guess I'll say Midland.
It is Midland.
What's their other album?
So they have a live album.
Oh, the guitars and couches, whatever.
I forget exactly what it's called, but they have a live album.
Oh,
I knew that would kind of...
That threw me off.
Yeah.
The only reason I wound up going with them is because I was like, I
'Cause
can't
Big
think of anyone
Machine,
else under Big
alcohol.
Machine with an alcohol that fits that description.
I knew the alcohol would help.
Okay, honestly, I take the gummies away.
Without the...
The alcohol normally helps.
I'm fattening you up, Evan.
No. Take them away from me. I've eaten too many.
Yeah, he got it. All right, we're 2 for 2. Let's see about this last one.
I don't know if I
knew Midland would be challenging. I thought I came up with some pretty good clues for that. Even though I knew including the live album and the Sonic Ranch.
Are we calling that an album?
It is. It's an album. I mean, it's not like a... Okay, on Spotify it shows up. And they and according to Wikipedia, it was an album. That's not the one. That's not.
Oh, you're talking the live.
Here, now I gotta... Evan just showed me the EP on their page, but I think Apple Music probably is categorizing things differently. It shows... Yeah, Live from the Palomino.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's technically an album.
Yeah.
So I included it.
I completely forgot that existed.
I've never even listened to it, so...
It was pretty good.
First clue. This artist began playing guitar while attending Wallace State Community College in Huntsville, Alabama, and made their first public performance at a Mellow Mushroom restaurant in Valdosta, Georgia.
So
we're in the
Georgia, Alabama. Whew, started playing guitar late.
There's a lot of country music coming out of Georgia.
There is.
Cream of the crop, too. You got Cole Swindell, Jason Aldean.
Oh, Jesus, thing timed out. Please come back.
It doesn't... Oh, well, I guess I'm usually, moving that a lot.
Gosh, my geography's not...
Did you even time yourself?
Nope.
We'll just say 20 seconds. And then, it's all right.
Started playing it. I guess I don't even know gender yet either.
Yeah, this one, I had to kind of make this one
smaller
hard, because
artist.
if I left
okay.
Yeah,
So then...
I think there were certain things that I chose not to include in as clues or in clues, because I feel like it would just give it away.
I did Riley Green for you, but that's me thinking Alabama. Aren't Muscadine Bloodline Alabama? But no, because I feel like the terminology... Yeah, I feel like the terminology led more to a single artist.
Me on you.
That's such a good song.
Evan Rudin. Real quick,
Jeez.
did you think that when Larry Fleet says Evan Rude in his song, did you think he says living room?
I thought it was Evan Rude.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was living room. From the bar stool to the living room.
I hear it, but I always think it as Evan Rude.
I heard it once, and it was the living room from then on. But now I can hear it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to need a guess.
Yeah, I really am struggling at the moment, so I'm going to... Just to get it off my mind, I'm going to say Muscadine Bloodline, because I think it's a solo artist.
It's not Muscadine Bloodline. All right, second clue. After college, they moved to a little hut, in quotes, in Hawaii, where they took up backpacking.
Ooh. Adventurous. Backpacking in
Could be Maren
Hawaii.
Morris.
No, I feel like if you took Maren Morris out of an upper class home, she'd have a stroke. Like if she couldn't have her like espresso in the morning, if she got like dirt under her toenails,
Yeah, she
I
didn't
feel
have her
she'd throw a
tall
fit.
man.
Yeah.
Freaking tall guys.
If she couldn't get mad at
Frick
people
off.
on Twitter, she
Heck
just.
off.
What's Maren Morris supposed to do if she can't get mad at people on Twitter? Like I don't know.
She needs... Maren, yeah. Maren Morris needs the Morgan Wallen to her Maren, you know?
Yeah.
She can't be without that.
Twitter offers that.
So now you got me thinking.
All the Morgan stands.
You got me thinking beachier
At war.
country people. You've got me thinking Ryan Hurd. You've got Hawaii. Oh, this should be setting off all kind of alarms, I feel, but I guess he went backpacking in Hawaii.
I have Me on You stuck in my head.
Michael Ray has some tribal tattoos. Let's say. Actually, I don't know where Michael Ray is from, so I'm gonna say Michael
I
Ray.
don't either. It's not Michael Ray.
I didn't think it was.
That's a good one, actually. Sometimes I forget Michael Ray exists. The
It's
only
not
song
based
that
on
he...
very. It was not based on very good.
he was,
He has tribal tattoos.
I mean, if
I
out of
don't know
all
where
the
he's
shots in
from.
the dark, I mean, I respect that one, you know? Michael Ray, man. I love...
he drops some good songs every now and then.
What is it? The
Whiskey and Rain. Or,
Freaking, I loved Whiskey and Rain. I do love
Yeah.
Whiskey and Rain. I listened to
He
that
has
a
another
lot
song.
when it first came out.
What's the other song of his that I really like?
Alright. I purposely made this very hard, this one.
Hold on, this is bugging me now. Her World or Mine. That's also a good one. You should check out. I like the writing on it.
Okay. This artist spent 8 years in Nashville before signing a record deal with MCA Nashville.
Oh, jeez. 8 years in Nashville.
I know, this isn't easy. But you got the first two.
That long, like, in town. Naturally, for some reason, I just thought of 10-Year Town by Haley Withers.
Yeah.
Which
And she was there for 12 years.
I should absolutely know where Haley Withers is from because the entire album.
She's
is
from
based
Iowa.
on it. Iowa, thank you. So
Porn star.
Alabama and Georgia, those just don't seem like Haley Withers.
She was in there for 12 years. It's not Haley Withers.
I know, but I was just thinking they've been there for a long time.
Sure.
They were there for 8 years before signing.
Speaking of Morgan Wallen, I got my Morgan Wallen community. I get his like text, automated text.
Oh, yeah. Is this... Ooh, I might have a decent guess here.
All right, I'm gonna need a guess. Like,
Actually, wait a minute. I don't think this works, but I'm gonna run out of time.
excuse me. Sorry, guys.
I'm thinking Georgia. I'm thinking someone that I could see backpacking. I'm thinking relative to this episode, but I don't think the timeline with age lines up. But I'm gonna say Tyler Hubbard.
Not Tyler Hubbard.
No.
It is Kip Moore.
Ah.
So not only did he backpack in Hawaii, he also surfed in Hawaii. But if I said that, then you would have gotten it.
surfing in Hawaii
Yeah.
would have.
It would have been a dead giveaway. So I was like, I'll just put the back because I knew that he lived in Hawaii. I didn't know if you knew that.
I didn't. I should have been able to put two and two together.
Well,
but
I purposely I had to.
It's
the
one
thing
of those
is-
that I don't blame myself for not getting in the moment, but now
The thing
with
is,
the
we kind of
answer,
know
it's like
we like know so little about him. Like he doesn't like
he does. You know, he's not one of
like
those.
people are always like,
outspoken
Kip, why
guys.
aren't you married? And he's always like, I'm just doing my own thing. You know, like he's always like, and then he's always out climbing rocks or surfing or.
Shoot. Yeah, he matches.
There he is. He's right
Description
there.
perfectly.
See my Wild
I
World
know,
picture.
and I did see that. And he just released music recently. Dang it.
I love
Two for
Kip
Three's
Moore.
not terrible.
No, you. How did I do when we did it? Like only got one, I
I
think.
think you got one. It was Luke Bryan.
Yeah, and I
It's
got
a
that one
new story.
immediately.
No, you got on the
Luke Bry-
second clue. Because the Peanut Farmers.
Oh,
You didn't get
yeah,
on
of course
Peanut
I didn't get the
Farmers.
peanut farmer. Yeah.
I actually included a fourth hint because I felt bad, but you didn't need it. You only needed two.
The fact that you thought I would need a fourth hint for Luke Bryan.
I didn't. Well, the thing was, if you knew
That's true. If I
if you
didn't
knew his
if I
story,
hadn't
it's a
known-
dead giveaway. If you hadn't known his story, you would
Yeah.
have been screwed.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right.
Well, yeah.
That's it. That's the podcast, people.
Is that the outro there?
I'm stretching. No, we're still going.
No, we're still going.
All right.
Yeah, this has been me and Jaron in person. Yeah, I cut you off completely. I don't feel bad.
Well, no, I was just going to say all right, and that would have been the end. But now
We're outroing it formally. Me and Jaron, this has been the in-person podcast. It will not be the last, but it is the
Fair enough.
first. Making history now. We're in person. I can officially slap his face, and you feel it.
I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, folks. Adios.
See ya.